In the last module of the previous course, we explored searching our sites. As we now move into the industrial typology, we're going to work with much larger sites. So we've gone ahead and found a location where we can start creating these larger buildings. To create a site, there are one of three methods. We can define by parcel, we can draw a site, or we can define by meets and bounds. Let's go ahead and define by parcel. So if we select this option here, we can see how Mapbox provides us with the necessary parcel information in Canvas. As we hover over these parcels, they begin to light up in green. And if we would like to generate a site using multiple parcels, we simply click and hold and drag our mouse over the necessary parcels. So let's start right here on this small 2.1 acre site. We'll move to the left and then we'll move up. And as we release our mouse button and head to the industrial typologies, we can see the default presets. As we hover over these presets, we can see a preview solve there in Canvas. So here's the cross-loaded max building, the double-loaded parked, prototype 3x6, single-loaded max building, single-loaded parked, and the urban infill. Let's go ahead and select single-loaded parked and say solve. And just like that, we've created our first site. But we'd like to explore another site creation method. So let's head over here. And from the site tools, you'll notice we have the ability to define by parcel once again, draw site, or again, define by meets and bounds. Let's go ahead and utilize draw site. Now as we click, you'll notice we can start to define our necessary sight lines, but what we also have the ability of doing is entering a numerical value. So if I know that this sight line right here is 150 feet, I can enter 150 on my keyboard, and now that sight line stays at 150 feet despite where I move my mouse. Let's go ahead and click right there. We'll go ahead and say this is 1,000 feet this way. We can head down here, 260 feet. There. Now if I wanted to make sure this next sight line is exactly 90 degrees with that previous sight line, we can enable the aligned drawing mode. So I can toggle that option right here. I can select it right here, or I can type A on my keyboard. And now in Canvas, my mouse and that sight line move in intervals of 15 degrees. So you can see how it's a little bit more jagged than before. Now as soon as I am 90 degrees with that previous sight line, we get these magenta crosshairs. So you can see them right there as they apply. And again, we can combine that numerical option we used a minute ago. So if I say 900 feet right there, no matter where I move my mouse, that line is at 900 feet. It's 90 degrees with that 260 foot sight line. So we click and we can repeat this process as need be, or we can come right up here to that first node that we had entered, and you can see that circle appear around that node. When I click, it will close that site, and then we can go ahead and select one of our presets. So if we want to use the urban infill in this case and say solve, we've gone ahead and defined our two sites. Once a site exists, you can modify the boundary by simply selecting the nodes around the extents of your site, click and drag, and you can see how that site will update to wherever you move that node. You can also add nodes by holding Shift and selecting a point along a sight line. You can see my mouse changes to this little circle, and there's the blue plus sign here. So if we go ahead and do that again right there, you can then now move those nodes wherever you need and really define this site as necessary. So we can combine that. And as you can see, you can get quite quick at redefining your site by adding nodes and relocating them as need be.